was like, we were very,
oh my goodness.
we were pretty, our first time going live on YouTube. And
here we are.
And here we are. We figured it out.
Britta figured it all out. It was not me. Here we are.
Yeah.
Here we
blood
are.
pressure is, up a little bit, but it'll come down. It's all good.
Oh, look. There we are.
Yay.
Doesn't every live video start this way?
Yes, it does.
People going, oh, we're live.
It's actually working.
Here we are.
Welcome, everyone. Thanks for coming to chat with us for a minute.
Yeah. We're happy to have you here. Okay. Maybe what I'll do is just tell people who I am, and then you can tell people who you are.
Perfect.
Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Jen Schultz. I have been with Beautycounter for just over 8 years, and I live in Edina, Minnesota, which is a suburb of Minneapolis. Go. He's sticking up there. And Britta has been with us one day less than I have, because she signed up as a consultant the day after I did. I'm going to have her tell that story because that's kind of a fun story. But we have been this month really focusing on welcoming new consultants to our team. So we wanted to jump on live and talk a little bit about the consultant opportunity, what it means to be a Beautycounter consultant, and why now is, we feel, a really good time to get involved with our company and our mission. So we'll delve into that in a few minutes. Tell them who you are, Britta.
Okay. My name is Britta Ferrell, and I have been with Beautycounter for one day shorter than Jen.
Mm-hmm.
I live in Woodbury, Minnesota, which is outside of St. Paul, pretty close to Wisconsin, actually. And we're coming to you live from my basement, where we're hiding out from all the comings and goings of my home. And
there's dogs around.
There's dogs. Who knows? Teenagers might be walking by. We don't know. But you know what? I thought for a second I would tell why, or you were saying how I started. Yeah. You know what I mean? If you don't, we didn't totally practice this, but I think I'm going to talk a little bit about this. So 8 years ago, Jen found Beautycounter, which I was, and so she came to. We were doing the same business, another direct sales business before that, and not super happy with where we were in our businesses, but never had really talked about it. I don't think that we were unhappy. Mm-mm. And Jen found Beautycounter, and she came to me and said, I think you should check this out. And I was like, well, this sounds great, but I'm never doing another job like that. Mm-hmm. And I know nothing about skincare and cosmetics. Mm-hmm. So thank you for finding this, Jen, but no, thank you.
And to give you some background on where we were even before that, I was in finance and marketing for 17 years and then had children kind of later in my life. Britta was a teacher. Mm-hmm. Our backgrounds were not in direct sales. And so the first direct sales company we were with, that was a big gamble.
It was. Too. It's sort of just
yeah,
let's see what happens.
Try. And that went 5 years, 6 for you, right?
Yeah,
6, 5 for me.
Yep.
Yeah. So when this opportunity came along, the first thing I said was, I'll never sell skincare, which I'm sure some of you out there are saying that.
100%.
So we'll talk about that. But I learned about it in October of 2013, which was 6 months into Beautycounter. We were very young at the time. And it took 6 months for me to decide, okay, I'm going to take a risk, take a gamble, and join the company. And then I called Britta, and she joined the next day. But I think I had to do a little homework and feel it out a little bit.
Yes. And so I want to talk on that for a little bit. So first of all, when you first came to me, I was like, no, thank you. I do not want to do another job like this. And you're like, but wait, this is different. And I was like, how in the heck can it be different? Mm-hmm. How can this company actually be different? Yeah. And then we met again, and I was like, okay. And I checked out the website, and I was like, this looks legit. This looks like a legit company. And what I also can say is that whomever invited you to listen to us today thinks that you would be a great fit for Beautycounter. Mm-hmm. And Jen, once she learned about it, I'm grateful that she followed her gut and then also thought that it might be a great fit for me and helped me to see that, where at first I certainly did not see that. Mm-hmm. But then when we started talking more about it, and the other thing is I trust Jen. She is a very smart person. I've always trusted her.
That's very smart.
And so that went a really long way. like if Jen is doing this and she believes in this, then that I'm already almost there because of who she is as a person. And but I would say, like Jen said, if many of you are thinking like, I can't sell skincare, well, believe me, that is exactly the words that I said when I started. And before I actually signed, no, it was right after I signed on, I got to talk to Gina Murphy, who was then our head of sales. And I said to her, this sounds great. And I love the mission of this company and everything, but I actually know nothing about skincare.
Mhm.
Like I do the basic wash. I've been doing the same makeup look since the day I got married.
I don't
And-
want a regimen. I will
don't
not
want
use
any of this stuff.
Yeah.
And she was like, great. I actually love that you don't know a lot about skincare and cosmetics because we are all about educating others. So when I had to turn my lens and go, well, what my job now is to do is to educate others about clean skincare and cosmetics, I can do that.
Mhm.
So it was just a different way of looking at it.
Right.
I would say.
And you had an educator's background, so you are a natural educator.
Yeah.
It's funny because anytime we do anytime we do any presentations, Britta's always there to set the stage because she is a natural educator. She gets up, she brings the energy, and I think it's important to talk about that this opportunity fits so many different backgrounds. I mean, if you look at the people on our team and the people that have been successful as consultants and leaders with Beautycounter, we're attorneys, we're salespeople, we are finance people, we're educators, we're doctors. We have, and by the way, a lot of 60 to 70% of our consultants do another full-time job. So they're a doctor alongside being a Beautycounter consultant. So whatever your background, that doesn't really matter. What matters is your passion for the work that we're doing.
Yeah.
And I think that's really the key.
And that's the thing that differentiated Beautycounter from any other thing that I had ever seen. I was like, okay, we are not just selling a product. And in the previous company that I was in, that's what we were doing. We were selling a product. It was cute. It was great, whatever, but that was it. There was no substance to it. And so when I learned about Beautycounter and the fact that like everything that they do, they look at every aspect of even creating the product to where things are sourced, to how they are shipped, to what they are shipped in, to, every little aspect so that it can be as safe and clean for us as possible. And then on top of it, spending our own Beautycounter's money to advocate for safer laws for all of America and Canada, or the North America and Canada. America and Canada. Geez, my brain is not working. The U.S. I should say the U.S. and Canada. America. Anyway, that's pretty cool. Like,
so I think we need to talk about this a little more. The whole clean beauty space, because most people, well, those familiar with our brand, you might not be familiar with our brand, but we are the leader in clean beauty. We have defined this space. We were the first clean beauty brand out there. There have been many to follow, which we applaud. Our mission, our stated mission from the beginning has been to get safer products into the hands of everyone. We can't do that alone. So that means other companies have to clean up their act, produce clean products. But if you look at individually the things that we're doing, Britta mentioned packaging, sourcing, all of the advocacy and mission-based work that we do. We put so many resources behind those things, and no other company out there is doing that. If they want to, we applaud them and we welcome them. But right now, we're really the only ones who are looking at each individual ingredient that we're sourcing. Where is it coming from? Is it safe? Could it be contaminated? What are the suppliers doing as far as employee welfare, child welfare? It goes really, really deep.
Really deep.
And that work is really expensive work. So we are putting a lot of capital behind that so that in the end, not only are we creating safer products for our clients, we are changing the industry at the same time.
We're showing the world that you can do it.
Yes.
So I think that was the other thing when clean beauty started, people legitimately thought like, well, that's fine. You can be all clean and granola, but they're not going to work.
Yes.
The products are not going to work. They're not going to do what they should do. And but I mean, they work.
They work.
They work.
They work.
Like they absolutely work. Like it's crazy. Like, and they're only getting better. I mean, I think every product launch, we're like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. Okay.
Okay.
What else?
I
Jen?
have another question for you.
Okay, go.
Because I have an answer, but I'm going to ask you first.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask you what the biggest misconception is out there that people have about direct sales. We like to call it direct retail because we do sell directly to clients, not only through a consultant, but as far as direct sales, because that's the industry term, what do you hear about direct sales that you want to be like, time out? Nope, that's not true.
Okay. 2 words, pyramid scheme. Those are the 2 words that I hear. And I especially hear it from men.
Yeah.
If I'm going to be totally honest. And it actually, I'm like, bring it on.
Yeah.
and actually my husband,
I've heard this one
I
before.
mean, yeah, exactly. But my husband is probably one of the biggest advocates of Beautycounter. When people say those 2 words to him, he's like, hold on. Like, I'll tell you something. So what a pyramid scheme means is it's a model where like I would sign up a whole bunch of people and they buy products. I do nothing else. Like I do nothing else. I just sit back and collect checks. Like that's what I do.
Yep.
And I will tell you that is far from what we do.
First of all, that's illegal.
Yes.
So you can't even have a company that does that.
Yeah.
But Beautycounter has requirements in place so that if you are a consultant and want to be compensated on the work you do, and also earn commission overrides on your team that you build and mentor and coach, you have to be selling and recruiting at the same time as your team. Basically, that's what it means. It's funny you say that about men, because I'm sure many of you watching are like, oh, I don't know if my husband's going to be on board. We've done a lot of phone calls over the years, Zoom calls, meetings with couples.
Yeah. To
try to dispel this myth about direct sales. And I think we do a pretty good job of it if we can have that, if that conversation does take place. So if you out there, if you have someone in your life who is concerned about that, we're happy to talk to them as well and kind of walk you through that conversation. My misconception was that you have to be a salesperson. We hear a lot, I'm not salesy. I'm not really good at sales. I happen to have a sales background. I'm not the top salesperson on our team, that's for sure. Our top salesperson has a psychology background. And so you don't have to be good at sales. You have to be good at connecting with people and be willing to have a conversation. That's really all it takes to be successful at this job. And you have to do the work. The work, like we like to say, the work is simple, but the work is simple, but it's not optional, right? So it's a pretty straightforward formula. We can help you as mentors find success, but
it's not something where you're going to sign up and earn money. Like there's not, you don't just, I'm going to sign on as a Beautycounter consultant and I'm just going to collect checks, as I said earlier. No, you have to do the work yourself. So if you find passion in any parts of Beautycounter, I would definitely say give it a shot, because so many people have thought about having a side gig or dabbling in a direct sales business, but they're scared or they don't want to be embarrassed. They don't want to fail. That's another thing that we hear a lot.
Huge.
And I always say, like, okay, let's be real. So sign up to be a Beautycounter consultant. If you're already a member, it's only $21, right?
To sign on as a consultant.
To sign on as a consultant, right? So let's say you invest, I don't know, a couple $100s in some products right away. And, 6 months down the road, you decide this is not for you. No one is going to come to your house and shame you. No one is going to put your name on the Today Show. No one's going to do anything. You know what I mean?
No social media.
You're not going to be canceled.
No.
That sort of thing. But I'm always like, okay, what's the worst case scenario? You sign on, you give this a try, because there's some part of Beautycounter that you find some passion in, whether it be the products, the advocacy, the people. just an extra way to make some money. I think plenty of people are looking for that. And you absolutely can have all of those things. And if it doesn't work, it's not the end of the world.
Right.
At all.
Then you have some products you get to use.
Yeah. And you and your family get to use some great products.
You probably learned a little bit more about clean beauty and the ingredients and things like that. I wanted to mention too, as we all know right now, inflation is a hot topic. This video will not age well if I say that right now. But right now, the average household has to come up with about $5,000 extra just to maintain their standard of living because of what inflation is doing to pricing right now. So wouldn't it be great if you could start a side gig with Beautycounter and make up that $5,000 for your family? And that means, so we get paid 25 to 35% base commission on all of our sales, depending on what we sell for the month. So, that means an extra, sometimes $300 to $500. Maybe if you sell just over $3,000, you earn over $1,000 in commission. So that's there,
$1,000 in your pocket.
That's $10,000, $12,000 in a year. So you're more than making up for that gap. So, and we have, what I love too is the evolution of the consultant. Like when we started, we had 9 products. People weren't really using social media to sell. Now you can really post things on social media, whether it be Instagram, Facebook. You can reach out by text, voice text, email. There's different ways to communicate. And we have seen so much success with people just starting small in their community, with their friends and family, talking about a product or two. You don't have to know everything about every product. I remember when my sister started back soon after I did, she had flashcards with all of like the ingredients with each product. I'm like, no, you don't need to know that. But now people are having success. Like I'm going to talk about the C serum.
Yes.
To 10 people and see where it leads. And that's just an easy, great way to start. So I think there's so many different strategies.
I think it's so right, Jen. Like you do not have to know everything. You can always find the answer. And like I always say, like learn your top 3 products when you come on. What are your top 3 products? You've likely already used Beautycounter and you already know what those top 3 products are. So find out a little bit more about them so that you can talk and tell, somewhat intelligently about them with your people you run into. If you're active on social media, any of those types of things. And let's talk about like when you sign on, like what you get. Like, because I was just going to mention your website. Oh, you know what I mean? Like, so when you sign on as a consultant, you instantly get, it's pretty instant that you get a website.
Yes.
Like you get a personal website that your friends and family and people that you meet can go directly to and shop. So I think it's pretty amazing that I could be, I can send this link out to a bunch of people. I can go for a walk with my dog and come back and I have somebody has placed an order on my website. That's pretty incredible.
Remember those first orders?
Oh my gosh. You would be like, because you get an email confirmation when someone places an order and you're like, I remember being with my family and I'd be like, yes, I just made $10.
I remember it was Dawn in Kansas City. Thanks, Dawn, for your first order. I remember.
I love it.
So it's, by the way, $50 to sign on as a consultant.
Yes.
If you are not a Band of Beauty member.
Yes.
If you are a member, you can upgrade for just $21. This month in particular, there is a long laundry list of reasons to join because of the timing of some things coming up. Number one, if you join this month and you spend $100, you will get a free sugar scrub, which is a $50 value.
I think it's $50.
So that right there, you're getting 50% back in product. There are a couple bonus programs in place right now where you can earn product credit based on your performance in the first 3 months of your business. And remember, we're heading into summer, so people are looking for sunscreen. It's a great time to launch a business.
And people are just out and about and gathering more.
Yes.
We have all come out, especially in the Midwest here, we've come out from hibernation.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, we're seeing all the people in the neighborhood I haven't seen you in 6 months. We are also on the verge of launching a trip incentive. So Beautycounter puts together these fantastic trip incentives. We haven't had one in a couple of years because of COVID, but we will have one this year. The qualification time is June, July, and August, I believe. You can also earn points in May for building your team toward that trip incentive. So if you were to join now, you could start earning points immediately. And then work through the summer. And I think that first few months in a consultant's business is number one, the most fun because you're getting to talk to all your people, but you see a lot of success immediately if you do the work because it's brand new to a lot of people in your life. So
it's new and fresh and exciting. And they're like, what is this? And they're curious. And you have like genuine like enthusiasm for it and drive to, I know for me, like I certainly had drive to make money. Like it was not just I'm going to see how this works. I was like, I'm going to do the work so that I can earn money. Like that.
You know, I'm glad you brought that up because looking back when I joined, the income opportunity was a big thing for me because I had to, number one, replace my income from my other direct sales job. But we had some goals as a family and things were pretty tight. We had a young child, brand new baby at home. We had just moved out of a house that we quite frankly couldn't afford if I wasn't working a corporate job anymore. So I needed to fill that gap. And I remember when I quit the old job where I was earning a pretty steady income. It wasn't guaranteed, but it was pretty steady. I joined Beautycounter and I didn't tell my husband. Now
that's right, Jen.
I don't recommend this for everyone, but it worked for me and here's why. So
I forgot about this.
I joined. I bought the biggest starter kit, which by the way, you don't have to do that. You don't have to buy any product if you don't want to, but I wanted all the products so I could. Well,
especially because you knew what you wanted to do with the business. So you have to have product.
Yes. So I was kind of setting up my storefront.
Yep.
I got the product. I started talking to people like Britta and others. And by the end of that first month, I remember it was April. I joined April 9th. We went out May 6th for our anniversary. And I said to my husband, now just hang tight. I have to tell you something. I said, I joined.
He did not know at this point.
He did not know.
No.
He knew a lot of boxes were showing up at the house and he didn't really know why, but he was like, whatever. So I said, I joined a new company. It's called Beautycounter. Here's what it is. I did have my business card, so I slid it across the table. And I said, I'm really excited about this company and I know this is going to work. You need to just trust me. And I had written down the dollar amount of my first paycheck. And I slid it across the table next to the business card. And I said, this is my first month's paycheck from Beautycounter. And he looked at it and he went like this and gave me a high five.
Yay.
So it was a risk for me to join. And as it is for everyone, right? It is definitely a leap of faith sometimes to walk into something that you don't have experience with or that you're unsure of. But keep in mind, the person that invited you to this call believes in you.
Yeah.
They will be your mentor. We will be your mentors. There are so many great resources. I think the community that we have built within our own team is really second to none. Very supportive group of people. We do calls.
Very positive, very supportive, collaborative.
Yes.
You know, like I can count that number of people on our team that I will reach out to, you know, anywhere in our organization and say like, hey, do you have this? Or do you know the answer to this?
I love
would
your
you help me
post.
with this?
Can I use it?
Yeah.
Oh, you never have to ask. Please always just use it.
Yeah.
People are very generous.
Or you're really good at this. Could you teach me how to do that or whatever? And people, that's the other thing I would say, this community of women, it's women. I mean, it is almost all women. I truly feel like here to lift each other up. So I want Jen to succeed just as much as I want to succeed. I want everyone on my team to succeed. I want people on my team to do better than me.
Better than I do.
That is what I want. Because there's room for everyone. They're absolutely, and I think that was the other thing that we should probably start wrapping this
Yeah.
up soon, Jen, but we could talk forever. When our previous company that Jen and I were with, there was very little room at the top.
Mhm.
Like room for one person that I knew of that was really at the top. You know what I mean? And when Jen had really dissected the compensation plan and how things would work before she joined, which I did not, but I trust Jen. And she said,
Britta also never tried product before.
I had never tried a product.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yep.
Absolute truth. I had never tried
Yep.
a product before I signed on. Anyway, what was I going to say?
Sorry,
the compensation plan. No.
yeah.
I was like, you said there is room for many people to succeed in Beautycounter. And I was like, no way. I'm still in, but I still don't totally believe it. It took me a very, very long time. It took me too long to realize there was room for many at the top, I think. Like, and not even at the top, but there's just room for, I mean, there's
we have sold, the numbers show we have sold to about 5% of American health of potential buyers right now. That alone should show you that there's still a huge opportunity, even 8 years later. And I feel like we're kind of in this phase now as a company where all of the resources that are being spent right now are being spent supporting the consultants in our role, whether it's technology, product development, field resources, so that we have people that can come and do meetings with us, presentations with us. The entire focus of the company right now is kind of on this phase 2 growth, meaning there is room and potential for leaders to emerge and for people to still be successful, even 9 years into this company. Beautycounter is 9 years old. So if any of you are feeling like, the company's pretty mature, are we kind of on the downslope? We are still in the trajectory of going up. And we need more voices. We need people on board to help us do this very important work, because it is important work. It's our job to educate consumers on product safety and the lack of regulation in our company, which we haven't gotten into too much, but with the person that invited you to this call can talk you through a little bit more of that.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I hope we've answered some questions. I hope we have given you a little glimpse into what life as a Beautycounter consultant is like, who we are. And I hope that you talk to the person that invited you to watch this and say, how could, what's next? Ask her questions. How do I get started?
Yep.
And do we have a little gift for anyone?
Well, we do have a little incentive to throw out there. So we, part of the efforts that Beautycounter makes are obviously lobbying in Washington, D.C. to get more health protective laws passed. And we had a group of consultants that earned an incentive trip and we're in D.C. last month. Was it earlier this month? Late last month.
It was,
Yep. And so we have T-shirts that we earned by doing earning points toward that. It says BC takes DC, and on the front is Beautycounter. We have 4 of these T-shirts. So the first 4 people to sign on as a consultant after viewing this video will receive one of these T-shirts.
So reach out to us.
Yep. So have your mentor.
They know who we are.
Yep.
Say, have your mentor. So if your mentor is Jill, have Jill send me an email or a text and say, hey, I just signed on my friend Beth and we're super excited, and Beth will receive a T-shirt.
Yep. Okay. So. Any last words for our audience?
No.
I hope there's an audience out there.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Anyway.
This will also be available for watching later.
Yes.
Too, if you want to pass it along to anyone else. So, okay.
First time YouTube live.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
I think it worked. All right.
Nice chatting with you.
Thanks, everybody.
See ya.
Nice chatting with you.